All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We're unpacking an absolutely epic tale today where brutal revenge, overpowered magic systems, and a massive 300-year-old mystery all just violently collide. The story we're tracking is honestly a masterclass in the reincarnation genre, packed with intense action and some seriously deep lore. So the whole thing revolves around one core question. What exactly happens when a legendary hero's bitter rival gets reincarnated centuries later? We're following the incredible journey of Hamel. In his past life, this guy was a fierce, relentless warrior who tragically died saving his comrades, including his greatest rival, the hero Vermouth, from a deadly trap. But instead of resting in peace, he wakes up 300 years later, and he hasn't been reborn as some all-powerful god. Nope. He wakes up as a massive underdog named Eugene, born into a lowly branch of his old rival Vermouth's very own family. Chapter 1. Rebirth of a Rival. Okay, so 300 years ago, Hamel died so his party could finally defeat the remaining demon kings. But as the newly reborn 13-year-old Eugene quickly finds out, they didn't. Somehow 2 of the demon kings mysteriously survived, and a really bizarre peace treaty was struck. The crucial takeaway here is that Hamel realizes his old companions failed their mission. This burning question of why the enemies are still alive, that's what fuels his modern-day drive for answers, and honestly his absolute obsession with gaining power. And Eugene doesn't waste a single second. Born into this secondary family lineage where he isn't even allowed to use real swords or train with mana, this 13-year-old just trains relentlessly with heavy weights and wooden weapons. He's got this ruthless, battle-hardened adult mindset that literally terrifies his own father. Using his past life combat genius, he absolutely embarrasses the arrogant mainline kids in bare-handed brawls. It's so satisfying to watch him prove that raw talent and sheer grit trump a pampered upbringing every single time. Chapter 2. The Bloodline Maze. This is the Lionheart family's infamous, brutal succession ceremony. Now, while the direct descendants of the main family are panicking, triggering traps, and desperately relying on advanced techniques like mana blades, our boy Eugene takes a completely different approach. He straight up ignores the maze's intended lessons on teamwork. He just calmly walks right up to the massive Minotaur boss with nothing but a basic sword and shield, scales its giant arm, and drives his blade directly through its throat. Right after that, Eugene looks his terrified cousin dead in the eye and says, "If you think you can't win, you should just quit." He completely shatters the main family's pride with this ruthless, no-nonsense attitude. He proves to the family patriarch and to the observing master of the Red Tower that he is a literal monster of combat, just leagues ahead of anyone else his age. Chapter 3. Secrets of the Vault. As a reward for dominating the ceremony, Eugene gets VIP access to the legendary family treasure vault, which is a place strictly reserved for the main lineage. And you know what he does? He casually walks past a staggering amount of insanely overpowered gear. We're talking about the sort of gluttony that literally eats magic, a dragonlance that breathes actual fire, and the Stormblade, Winth, which holds the Wind Spirit King. He just ignores these incredible, legendary artifacts left behind by his old rival, Vermouth. Instead, Eugene picks up his own cheap, 300-year-old past-life necklace that's just sitting dustily on a shelf. In terms of magic, it's basically a worthless rock, but it's the keepsake of his dead parents from his previous life as Hamel. Finding it there instantly sparks a massive mystery. Why did Vermouth keep this? Who actually orchestrated his reincarnation? I mean, he eventually takes the Stormblade too, because why not? But that necklace proves someone from his past was actively waiting for his return. Chapter 4. Mastering the Magic City. So, Eugene heads over to Azeroth, the magical capital of the world. He realizes he has to conquer the one big weakness from his past life, magic. And he does this by uniquely combining 2 entirely different, supposedly incompatible power systems. On one hand, you have the Lionheart's White Flame martial arts technique, which uses stars in the heart. On the other hand, there's the standard Azeroth spellcasting system, which relies on circles in the mind. At just 17 years old, Eugene pulls it off flawlessly. He uses his martial arts stars to mimic magic circles. And without chanting a single word, he blasts a hole straight through a solid Cabrium golem on his very first try. It cements his status as an unmatched prodigy and completely shocks the master of the Red Tower. It's a total game changer. Chapter 5. Crushing the Dark Magic. Now, while Eugene is busy mastering spells, he discovers that his older brother, Edward, who is supposed to be the gifted heir of the main family, is secretly drowning in dark magic deep in the underworld. And this is where Eugene's ironclad morality really shines through. He finds his brother attempting to sacrifice a unicorn's heart to form a contract with an incubus. Eugene literally beats some sense into his pathetic brother, screaming at him, "You want demons that value you more than your own family?" Eugene just steps right in and single-handedly dismantles the entire dark magic ritual. He slices through the summoned demons like it's nothing, stares down the corrupt wizards, and firmly rejects the very same dark magic that plagued his past life. He even confiscates the unicorn's heart to use for his own training, saving his family's honor while making sure his brother is sent away in absolute disgrace. Chapter 6. The Royal Library's Truth. Because of how well he handled that dark magic incident, Eugene earns VIP recommendations into Acreon, the Royal Library. Deep inside, he starts uncovering remnants of his old friend, Sienna the Wise. He finds Mar, a familiar shaped exactly like a younger Sienna. He also discovers witchcraft, which is her ultimate magic core, and her legendary Akasha staff. But the craziest part? As he dives into the magic of the witchcraft core, an actual illusion of Sienna herself appears to him, tearfully telling him she has been waiting for him. To really grasp the sheer scale of the stakes here, we have to look at the twisted legacy of his old companions. Vermouth is dead, but he left behind this mysterious oath with the demons instead of just killing them. Sienna is missing, clearly sealed away somewhere, leaving magical clues that only Hamel would ever recognize. And Anise, the Saint of Light, she helped build a whole religion that worships a completely sanitized fake history. All of this perfectly sets the stage for a massive final twist. Out of nowhere, the current Saint of Light shows up at the Lionheart estate, and she drops an absolute bombshell. Driven entirely by her religious agenda, the saint tries to force Eugene into the role of the ultimate chosen hero. She claims that his absurd talent is proof that he is actually the reincarnation of the great hero Vermouth, sent back to finally finish the holy war against the remaining demon kings. But come on, remember who we're dealing with here. This is Hamel, in arguably the most badass, rebellious cliffhanger possible. Eugene flatly rejects her. He looks her right in the eye, tells her to pass a message to your mighty god of light, and literally flips her off. He absolutely refuses to be a pawn in anyone's holy war, and there's no way he's letting himself be mistaken for his old rival. And that brilliantly leaves us with a massive, provocative thought for you to chew on. If Hamel is back in Vermouth's bloodline, and Sienna is trapped, desperately leaving clues, what in the world is Vermouth's true dark secret? Who actually betrayed who 300 years ago? And exactly how far is Eugene going to go to burn this false history to the ground to find out? It's a spectacular setup that just leaves you desperate for what comes next. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this breakdown helped you grasp the truly epic scope of the story.